What a wild MLB season it was. It ended with the Boston Red Sox reclaiming the title, and the party is still raging in the city of Boston. But now as reality sets in, the season's over, we look towards the offseason and what promises to be a wild one at that. Guys, there are so many highly coveted free agents this offseason, not the least of which is World Series champion Jacoby Ellsbury, somebody who will be very, very highly touted this offseason. So Ben, start with you. Where do you see him winding up next year?
You know, I see Jacoby Ellsbury staying in Boston. I think, first of all, the Red Sox have basically their entire team under contract for next season. So I think they can open the checkbook on this one and just preserve what they have. Clearly, they're good enough to win a World Series with what they have. They don't have to really go shopping for anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, Jacoby Ellsbury has already denied one deal from the Red Sox. If he wanted to play for a contender, he would already have signed with them.
Absolutely. I think qualifying offer, he's not taking that.
I think he's going to go to a team that's going to give him a lot of money, which is the Seattle Mariners. Okay. They've already locked up their the top of their rotation for years to come with King Felix. Now they're going to lock up the leadoff batter and also an outfielder that they need. Because I'm sorry, but Frank Gutierrez is not going to do it in center field for the Mariners.
Yeah, you made a good point about the Red Sox already gave him an offer. They already did it 2 years ago and the year before that when Ellsbury blew up. And he denied all the offers thinking he's going to get a big payday. Even tried to do it during the season this year and it didn't work. They sent in that qualifying offer, which is just so they can get a compensatory pick if they lose him. I think he should stay. I think it's best for the Red Sox and it's best for Jacoby Ellsbury. But there are those teams like the Cubs, like the Phillies, like the Mets, that just will end up giving him 7 years. It's 30 years old and $150 million, and he'll end up somewhere else.
And it doesn't even make sense. We've seen it so many times with Albert Pujols and Josh Hamilton. The long contracts, they just don't seem to pan out.
Right, they don't work. They work for 2 years or so, and then by then the team doesn't have the player they expected to get.
Well, somebody, I think, might end up giving him that contract. And I've actually thought for a couple of years that it would be those Seattle Mariners. They do need a center fielder. They're willing to spend the money. And he's actually a West Coast guy. He's actually from the West Coast, so that would make sense for him to go there. I think I would love to stay with the Sox, but don't think it'll happen. Another guy that will be could be traded actually this offseason, will become a free agent after next season, is David Price. Will he get traded before the start of the season? And if so, where will he go? Connor?
Yes, he is going to get traded. He's already said that he expects to be traded. Yeah. He's going somewhere. He's going to go to the Rangers. Listen, the Rangers saw what the Detroit Tigers did this year with their 2-ace rotation, maybe 3 at some time, and I think they're going to go with Darvish and David Price, get that, and then also make their rotation even scarier with Derek Holland, Perez, and Harrison backing up that rotation. I think he goes to the Rangers.
Yeah, you know, I think David Price is going to move. The Rays know they're going to get something big for David Price. He's a young arm. He's a lefty. He's a stud that will be a free agent soon, and they want to get something back from him. I think he's going to go to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I think they have the player to make an impact now in Mark Trumbo, and they have the farm system to back up Trumbo in a deal and pick up David Price.
You know, I think David Price will get traded during the season, but not yet. I think he's going to start the season with the Rays. I mean, first of all, listen to what he tweeted after getting shelled this postseason.
Go to
Quote, TBS analyst Tom Verducci wasn't even a water boy in high school, yet he can still bash a player. Save it, nerds. I mean, is there a major league team that's ready to blow up their farm system right now, though, to get this guy? I mean, he's a question mark to me. I think he's a little overrated on the mound. I think he'll get traded to a pennant race contender.
I think he's too exciting not to get traded in those winter meetings when they get all of those owners in a room. It's like, wait, David Price is an option. He can be on my team.
Exactly. And I think the Rays know that. I think they know that if they trade him this offseason as opposed to during the season, they'll get the highest value for him. So I think he definitely will be moved. It would be scary to see him on either the Angels or the Rangers. Staying in the American League, which I think he'll do, is a scary thought. Now, there's always teams in the offseason that come out as, I guess, the proverbial winners. Different teams every year, and it's usually teams that are on the cusp looking to make a big jump in the next year. So who do you guys think those teams will be this coming year?
I would love to see the Cleveland Indians make a splash. Not a huge one, but like get those little guys, the middle tier free agents, and make a splash in free agency. They were in the wild card game, which they lost. They were one game behind the Tigers, who now have a new manager. Had a solid hitting year last year, top 10 in slugging and runs scored. Their pitching needs help. I want to see them go out and get a guy who plays well in smaller markets like an A.J. Burnett, maybe a Hiroki Kuroda for 1 year, and then get a guy like Joe Nathan to fill in on their bullpen. Their bullpen was not good this year, only bottom 5 in saves, and they need someone to help Chris Parrish. I think Nathan can do that for a year or two and give them that boost.
Well, you know what? I think the Oakland Athletics, should probably acquire a catcher. They don't need to They don't need to spend crazily because they won't. But I think Jared Saltalamacchia could be a good fit there. What don't the Oakland A's do? Win playoff games. What does Jared? Look, Saltalamacchia just won a World Series, so I think that could be a good missing piece to the puzzle out there.
Surprised they let Grant Balfour go though. That was a surprising move.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, the team is just on the brink. I mean, they really are.
They're so close.
They're so close, and they've never won that playoff series. I think this could be the guy to do it.
If we're going to talk about a team that's on the brink, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Orioles. They were, in my opinion, one of the most improved teams over the past 2 years. Their one problem is their starting pitching. They were ranked 27th in the league in starting pitcher ERA. If they change that, they're going to be a great team with that awesome batting rotation that was in the top third in every category. They just need a solid pitcher and maybe a DH so Chris Davis can stay at first base, do the great fielding job that he's done this year. I think the Orioles can finally be a team that overseats the Red Sox and the Yankees in the AL East.
Well, I hope you're wrong about that. But I do like all those picks. I think those are all teams that could use a little bit of help and just need a little bit of help to get over that hump. So we'll see what happens. But we have to take one final break. But coming up, we revisit a topic from a few weeks ago and decide whether a certain city has a reason to be hopeful.